Hello everyone, my name is SwingPoynt and welcome to Resident Evil Resistance. This is the multiplayer game bundled with Resident Evil 3. And today is finally the day that I start showing you how to do Mastermind builds. Instead of doing just general character guides on the Masterminds, I want to show you builds for each of them, and then we'll talk about why we choose the skills that we do, and that will still work as a character guide for you, I feel. And today the build we're going to do is a no knockdown build for Daniel. The reason why we talk about this build is this is the best build that I've run into in terms of consistency, being able to take down just about any team. We're going to talk about what makes it great. I'm going to show you a real match so you can see how strong it is. And I'm going to talk about how you counter it in case you end up running into this because somebody watched one of these videos. This is a very strong build, very, very strong build. You're going to win 98% of your games. You're going to have some sort of team that just gets it in order to beat this. Okay? So let's go through each one of his skills, and then I'll go through my equipment, and then I'll go through my deck, and then I'll show you an actual match, and we'll talk about how to counter it. Okay? So first, my skill variance on my bioweapon. It's the same. I didn't really change it to anything. I have brutality, so increased hook punch and speed damage. But honestly, you're going to win most of your matches in about 3 minutes, so you won't even get to use the tyrant. Daniel's first passive skill is Bloodlust, and there's 2 variants, just like there is with just about everything else. There is Vampire and Rend, and we are going to choose Vampire. And it says controllable creatures will restore a set percentage of health with each successful attack. I'm pretty sure that set percentage is 50. So if you do 100 damage, you're going to get 50 health back. And if you go ahead and boost your damage via your equipment, that means you're going to heal more. So keep that in mind. Our second passive skill here is Puppeteer, and we can either choose Sadist or Endurance. For this build, we are going to choose Endurance because it makes it so that you cannot be knocked back, and that means hit stuns. So the things that will affect you and the things that won't affect you. Things that will affect you: Tyrone's Kick, flashbangs, and a grenade that's immediately underneath you, so it'll actually flip you over. Things that aren't going to affect you: gunshots, melee. If you're biting somebody, you're not going to be able to get knocked out of your bite. You're not going to be knocked around by most grenade explosions. Again, it has to be right underneath you because it'll have to flip you over. But if you just usually would just get stunned by it, doesn't matter. You are very, very, very hard to take down. Sam's dash punch doesn't affect you. The only things that affect you, again, are flashbangs. So flashbangs and then Martin's ult, and then Tyrone's Kick and a grenade immediately underneath you. If there's something else, can't think of it. Something to keep in mind with these, though, is that these creatures have to be controlled. Okay? It's not all your creatures. It's only the ones that you control. So Vampire, only on your controlled zombie. Endurance, only on your controlled zombie. That's a very, very important part of this. And now for my Area 2, I have Detonators, just because you can do Dealers if you want. And then for my Area 3, I do Armored Zombies because they're so good. But honestly, you're probably not going to reach Area 3. And if they reach Area 2, it's because they're smart. So now let's take a look at their equipment. You could do a couple of things with equipment. What I'm currently doing is I'm doing slightly increase the attack power, moderately increase the attack power, and then greatly increase the maximum health of creatures. You could go full attack build here. I like having the extra little bit of health as a buffer in case something goes wrong or they're just getting away from me and I'm having trouble grabbing onto them or getting my swipes in. But you could go full attack build here and it might help you out a little bit because from what I can recall, we did a lot of testing in the math of how these creatures attack. A basic swipe. This is the math you need to know, and this is the stuff that you're probably only going to get on SwingPoynt's channel because we did a lot of this testing on the Twitch stream. So twitch.tv/SwingPoynt, we stream there every night. We've done a lot of testing in numbers. So a basic swipe from a zombie, be it a regular zombie, a tough zombie, an armored zombie, they're all the same. Basic swipes do 120 damage. Now you need to understand your character's health. Characters have different levels of health. Tyrone has 1400, Sam has 1300, Val and Jan both have 1200, Becca has 1100, and Martin has 1000 health. We've tested this on the Twitch streams and we got it down to an exact science. So your base attack is going to be 120 per swing. Now, the way that these go ahead and affect that is when it comes to creature attacks, slightly means a 9% increase, moderately means a 15% increase, greatly means a 21% increase. And now slightly, moderately, and greatly are not always 9, 15, and 21. They do change based on the thing. So, for example, with firearms, that's a 6, 10, and a 14% increase, respectively. So slightly is 6, moderately is 10, greatly is 14. So it depends on what the thing is. They're not always the same, so health might be different. Health might not be a 21% increase with the greatly, but if it is, that means that my tough zombies are going to get roughly about 450 to 500 more health. I'm not entirely sure on the tough zombie health. It's a little hard to gauge, but I think it's about 23 to 2400 based on my testing. So that's going to boost them to about 2800. Another thing that might make this really interesting is I'm going to show you enhancer region rounds, which you're going to get with Daniel. In order to do this build, I should have mentioned, you have to be at least level 14 on Daniel. It's not going to work otherwise because you don't unlock endurance until you're level 14. Okay? But keep in mind another thing, if you see a Daniel that's level 14 or higher, you need to start thinking about how you're going to counter this specific build because they're probably going to be running it because it's really good. Okay? So I hope I taught you a lot there. But now to go back to what I was saying with the increased attack here, your base attack is 120. And now if you go ahead and you take slightly and then moderately, that's going to bring you to 24%, right? 9 plus 15. So you're going to take 120 times 1.24. So we're going to be doing about 148 or 149 damage because it's 148.8. So you'll see it when we're playing. And then that means when we region per swipe, we're going to be getting half of that, which is going to be about 74 per swipe. Okay? So reason why this matters is if you're trying to go ahead and gauge their health, remember how I told you all the health numbers before? You can also time into the bite. So a base bite is 350 damage. And if you multiply that by 1.24, about 434 damage. So if you're getting in your swings and you're paying attention to who you're attacking and you're watching how much health they have, you can choose when to bite and then critically bite them so they're completely down. That could be a really useful tactic for you, especially if you grab them before they can start taking an herb to heal themselves. And since you don't get knocked back, you can finish the whole animation, down somebody, get up, and start fighting again. So something to keep in mind. I know it's a lot. I'm giving you a lot, but I think part of what you guys like with these guide videos is that I'm giving you a lot of stuff. Okay? One other really important part to keep track of with all this is that my bite build that I'm going to show you guys soon, you can one-hit kill people with bites in this game if you do the math right. Did a lot of math. You can one-hit bite every character except Sam and Tyrone. And then if you go ahead and hit him with a tracker mine, you can do it to all of them. Or one swipe and you do it to all of them. Okay? It's going to be really cool, and I'll show you guys that soon. But enough of that. Now that you guys kind of understand how these all work, let's go on to our deck. So our deck is going to be designed in a way where I try to get my enhancer rounds out quickly. We have quick draw down in here to go ahead and cycle through all of our cards to help us get all of our enhancer rounds. So enhancer region, which you get at level 13 with Daniel, is going to make it so they're constantly healing. And then enhancer berserker is going to make it so you can move really fast. So they can't even run away if they try. And if they try to run away, they're not going to do a very good job. Okay? So I hope this all makes sense. I'm going to show it to you in a real time here, and it's going to wreck on them so hard. There's a few ways you can counter this build. Let's go ahead and get into it first, and then I'll talk about what we can do to counter it and what they should be doing to counter it. And if they do start countering it, that'll be really interesting. But I want to make sure we have a balance to how you actually deal with this, because I don't want to put a build out here, everybody thinks it's broken, and then people go, oh my god, Capcom, you got to nerf it, because there's definitely ways to counter this build. I had this build go against me, and we actually beat it. But it was a tough match, and everybody on our team really knew what they were doing, so we got really lucky. So let's go ahead and show you a regular match, and I'll show you how it kind of works in person. So we have a Daniel match here. Pick Daniel. Oh, and it's on downtown. So what you're going to notice, I'm going to pick preset 4 here, and what you're going to notice in this preset is that I have it staged in a way where I have a trap, and then another trap, and I have a zombie that's going to be within easy striking distance of my first camera. And I'm going to try to buff them up real fast. One thing that's a little risky is if they run right out of there like nothing else matters and they don't go to the box at all, well, then they can hit that first zombie. But what's really nice about this build is you can just keep resetting up. Take a different room and reset up, because really you only need one zombie and you're going to control them and you're going to wreck on them. I've been beaten on people that are rank 40, rank 50. A lot of them disconnect. This build is really good, and there's a couple of good ways to counter it, but you have to do it correctly. So you're going to have to be ready. if you end up seeing a Daniel that's level 14 or higher. We'll see what we're running up against. We are going up against a rank 30 Valerie. So usually we get a high rank Valerie. That means that they're going to be pretty good. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to try to cycle through my cards real quick.
I have seen.
Wow, I got nothing right away. Okay.
Slaughter,
So I want
poverty, and
Enhancer. That
riches.
one's definitely absolutely required.
But today, I see something new.
Wow,
There is
that's a
always
good way to
higher
do
madness
it.
that can be found.
I've never had that happen before. Smart Jan going for me immediately.
Let us look together.
Did she go ahead and get me?
Okay.
Wow. Can I still get up here? They're going to kill me before I can get up and do anything. Or maybe they won't. So you got to go ahead and take over this tough zombie. And you see how I'm not getting knocked back at all? I'm trying to recover here while I'm still getting my Enhancer regen on. And I'm just beating on him. The more that I got on me here, flashbangs are a great way to counter it. This team's actually doing a good job. Most teams aren't going to be able to do this. You know what? I'm actually going to go right over here and buy myself a little bit more time here.
I call this one
Enhancer right here. I've
I've
never seen that before, where they just come out straight with a Jan and say, what's up? But either way, we're going to be okay here. I'm going to get another guy right here, and he's all healed up. And I'm actually going to pull him in here because they're taking their time.
Just to do things yourself. You understand me.
I'm just going to go in there and keep swiping. One of the best ways you counter this, chat, is just run away from it.
Have a first aid kit.
That might sound kind of goofy, but honestly, running away from it's such a good way to deal with it. Flashbangs are a great way. Martin can go ahead and do a lot of countering because of his mines, but still I'm working on them. This was a really good first attack by them. They would be bullying most other builds because of that. But now because of this, everyone's downed. I can go ahead and chase her, bite her, and she can't get away. Can't heal. It's over. She's gonna die. They're all gonna die. That's the end of the match. That was a really clever way to go ahead and handle that because I couldn't even cycle through all my cards yet. I thought that was really cool. But they lose. Game's over. That's how your matches are going to go typically with this build. If you want to, you can go back in there and bite them when they come back out.
This is death or glory, not a race.
She's not going to kill you in time. You just go swiping at her again. You see how I'm getting 149 per hit? Remember how I said it's going to be about 148, 149? And then your health regen to 74 per swipe because it's 50%. In terms of how much... Oh, look at that. Let me move my camera out of the way. That was a minute 51.
What do you have to live for?
There you go. And then you actually still get pretty good points when you do this too. People are like, if you kill him too fast, does that ruin it for you? No. I'm still getting about 4,200. A lot of times I'll get like 4,800 when I do this. And you can just, again, wreck on people. So let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about what they did and what they could have done better and how they really could have countered me, how they could have attacked me, all that type of stuff. Because there's definitely ways to do it. Okay? So what they went and they did really, really well right away was they came out with that Jan. That was a great play. Never seen that before. In most cases, if the Jan's going ahead and playing like that, you're going to have troubles with your game. But with this, you can keep recovering. You can keep adapting. So what you want to do in this build is you want to get a tough zombie because they have the most HP. You don't want a plated armor zombie. They suck. I swear they suck. The only way plated armor zombies are any good is if you don't know how to deal with them. But as soon as you figure out you shoot their leg, they only have like 1,000 health. So you want a tough zombie, you want enhancer rounds on them, and you want berserker. You want enhancer because that makes it so they heal constantly. And then you're also going to be healing when you attack. So you're getting 2 sources of healing. You want berserker rounds so you can move quickly. In terms of how much you heal with the enhancer round, I don't know if it's based off of your total health or if it's just a flat rate. If it's based off of your total health, that health booster that I have in my equipment is making it even better, but I don't really see the number when it goes in ticks. So I'm not really sure how much health I'm being healed per tick, but I know it helps a lot because I've tried playing without it. It definitely helps a lot. What they could have done to have countered it, really, really good counters. A torch. Torches do damage over time. They don't do knockback anyway, but they do speed, so they can hit really fast. And since it's a no knockback build, having a knockback weapon is not really going to save you, and it just makes you go slower anyway. So a torch is a really, really just like amazing counter to it. So if you get 2 people on torches, you're going to be able to bust right through. Another thing is don't sit on it. If you hear a Daniel coming at you right away and he's rank 14 or higher, get ready to run. If you sit there and you try to beat that thing up, you're going to lose. Because every swipe he gets on you is going to be one that makes him stronger because he's going to heal himself. So you got to get away from him. Don't clump up because if he clumps up, he cleaves. And that makes it so he gets 3 people that he hits, which is about, what, 74, 74, 74. Suddenly you're getting, I don't know, 220 health healed per swipe. You don't want that. So split up and run. And then what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to keep readjusting, re-enhancing, all of that stuff. And keep in mind, he might have his preset set on you in area 2 as well. area 2, he'll jump on you. But try to rush the objective, try to get away from it, use torches. If you're Becca and you have sentry stance, you can sit in the back and try to get some good shots on. But it's going to be hard with Berserker, but sentry stance Becca, especially if she has the one that times up over 20 seconds where she's doing double damage, that can be really useful. You just have to have her sit in the back while the people are dealing with them. But again, you don't really want to do that because you want to run. Molotovs will work. Flashbangs will work. Martin's makeshift mines can do really well as well, because if you step on it, you're going to get shocked and then they can beat on you. The shock doesn't last that long, but it's still a stun. So it's going to be a window of opportunity for them to pour into you. But like I said, this is a very strong build. Unless they're on top of their stuff and they're all doing that, you're going to be able to pick on one of them and just milk time off of it. So they really, really, really need to all be on the same page. Another thing you can do with this build is you can put it on Yorick in area 2. Let's say they rush the first area and they get all the objectives and you can't catch them. Or one of them gets away and then they manage to get into the second area via overtime because one of them was sitting on the exit. If you buff Yorick with Enhancer for Regen and Enhancer for Berserker, he's like a one-man wrecking crew. He has like 3,000 to 4,000 health. I think he has about 3,500 to 4,000 health. So he's going to be healing constantly. You can attack to heal. And you can run real fast if you have those regen rounds on you. And usually you have more than enough time to cycle through your deck because he's far enough away from their spawn that you have plenty of time to make sure he's taken care of. And since Yorick really only takes headshots and he's armored, I think pretty much everywhere else except maybe his back, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage with this as Yorick. So if they can't get Yorick, they can't advance to area 2 anyway because he's holding the key card. So it's really good to put on Yorick. So I hope this taught you a little bit. I hope I told you a little bit on how to counter it. Again, you counter with Molotovs, you counter with torches. Again, torches is the best way to counter this. Run away. Don't sit here and get into a fight with them. If he's not getting knocked back when you're shooting him, if he's not getting knocked back when you use, you know, like a regular melee weapon, like a 2x4 or something, it's time to dip and get out, man, because that's what's coming. You gotta leave. And especially if you see the enhancer rounds on him, then you really need to leave. But torches are going to be how you beat it because of the damage over time. So I hope this helps. I hope you enjoyed this build. It's very, very strong. You want to set your presets up for the ambush early, and 99% of the time you're going to win. And 97% of the time you're going to win in the first area. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more, because I have more builds coming, twitch.tv/SwingPoynt is the link in the description. We stream there every single night around 10 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes we start on YouTube first and then move over there. I have a bite build coming for Daniel. I have a sniper build coming in for Becca, and an EMP build coming in for Jan. A lot of cool stuff. I hope you guys are excited for it. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and subscribe, and then I will see you guys in the next video that we do around here.